you serious?
Such an interesting situation right here in Saudi Arabia.
It's an experience.
Phenomenal, right? Beautiful.
The shops, the locals, the places.
Cheap flights, opportunities.
If the locals are not there, it will not last.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Culture Clash podcast, where usually a Russian and American will discuss and debate some of the hot topics in the news this week, or broadly speaking, things that are happening around the world. Today, we have a very special episode with here in Saudi Arabia. And with that, I won't introduce him. I'll let him introduce himself. With that, I'd like to say Assalamu alaikum, Khalid. Thank you so much for being able to make this happen and for us to be able to have this conversation. Would you like to do an introduction on yourself? Tell the audience about you, your past, and all of that.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you very much, Michael. I'm so delighted to be on this podcast. My name is Khalid Al-Shirwi. I'm a tourist guide. I'm also a tourist guide trainer and a trainer for gifted students in chemistry. Father of 5 boys, and passionate and loving of and showing what my country has to show the world.
Excellent, excellent. And the passion, I think, is evident, and I think that's great, and we're really looking forward to the conversation. So thank you for that introduction. I think from the first question we want to get to is really to understand what drew you into the industry. What got you involved in tourism? What drew you to wanting to show your country and all of that? And then how long you've been working in the field?
I love the saying there. It says, be a door knocker. Be a door knocker. Knock on the doors. Meaning, be prepared for any opportunity. No, not just be prepared, just wait for it. No, you go look for any opportunity. I'm that kind of personality. I like to invest my time, myself, my knowledge, what I have. And what triggered all of that in 2010 was a very, very small, not article, it's like an ad in the newspaper from the Commission of Tourism that time. It wasn't even a ministry that time. Do you want to be a tourist guide? Do you have passion to your country? Do you want to meet new people and be an ambassador to your country? Because we tourist guides are ambassadors, local ambassadors to our country. So it was just that. Say, yeah, why not? Why not? Let's try it. Give your life something new. Who knows? And really, who knows? What happened after that was something very, very changing in my life. So I attended workshops and a course totally funded by the Commission of Tourism, and I got the license and we made it. Since 2010, I've been happily living after that in tourism, and it doesn't stop. There's no retirement. You can't retire from loving what you do and love.
So it was pure luck. You saw something in the newspaper, draw you to it, fit with your personality and everything else, and that was it. That was the story.
That was it. That was my story, and that's why I tell my students, training, my sons, hey, try something. Try here, there. You just don't know. We don't know where that door will lead you. It could lead to something extraordinary. So try it when you're 10 years old. Try it when you're 20. Try it when you're 30, 40. No, stop.
Take risks. Go for it.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Still.
That's incredible. No, that's a great story. Random happenstance, and then here we are.
Any opportunity, take it. Who knows?
Yeah, that's awesome. That's great. So I think, again, such an interesting time as well, right? To be in tourism, obviously, with what's been happening, which leads me to the next question. How have things changed as it relates to tourism and Saudi Arabia in general in your 14 years? That would be, I think, very interesting to hear about.
Okay. Since 2010, there was no tourist visa. Tourism was mostly on a local scale, meaning expats that lived in Saudi Arabia, very, very small amount of visitors like investors coming, but we're talking about tourism here. So it wasn't that much. So on that scale, it was like having, even the locals, Saudis, when I was a tourist guide, and they said, Khalid, do we really have tourism here? what's there in Jeddah? What's in Riyadh? What's in Taif? What's يعني, are you serious? We have tourism. That was one of the difficulty. Let's not say difficulties, but the things that we needed to prove because we have evidence of that. So that was before the launching. In um, my territory, let's say, if I could say, of job and work, I was, alhamdulillah, working very well, alhamdulillah. Expats that knew me, from Aramco, from the King Faisal Specialist Hospitals, I still in a relationship with them, because tourism, by the way, Michael, it's not just sightseeing. It mustn't be like sightseeing. It's an experience. It builds bonds between you and the people. I still have contact. I still message people 14 years ago. They were with me in a tour. Happy New Year, Ramadan, Eid. Hi Khalid, I'm sending someone to Saudi Arabia. He wants to. It's it doesn't stop. So that's one of the soft powers. We are delighted to be in that field. So from that until 2019, the big bang happened here in tourism sector. It was in September 2019 when the tourist visa was launched and announced. Early 2020, for that COVID hit, we started to have these enormous floods of requests, emails. Hello, Had, we're a company from this area, from that area, from the world. Not that number of people. Something really, really happened, and we were very delightful. Took like just 2.5 months. Then, halas, the lockdown happened, and I always like to comment about that time. Most of the countries had their difficult. All the world had the difficult time in during the COVID era, and Saudi Arabia was one of among the countries, of course, but Saudi Arabia announced in 2021 during COVID, the launching of the tourist fund, Saudi tourist fund, $15 billion fund.
The billion with a B.
Sorry, yeah, I said million, then no, 50 billion fund. That era where the economies were struggling for all, Saudi Arabia announced that fund, and just imagine what where we're going to. Then after that, um, the the regulations of COVID were starting to ease a bit. So Saudi Arabia focused on the local tourism. This is very important. The locals. This is very important. I always like during training sessions. I always like three pillars. Tourism, in my point of view, goes on top. Three pillars. The government, which makes the laws and issues and easements for investments. Number two, private sector. I need to convince the private sector here and there to invest in Saudi Arabia. And one thing, the locals. If the locals are not in that equation, sorry, I don't care if you support it with trillions. If the locals are not there, it will not last.
Can I, real quick?
Please.
So to that, do you mean that the locals to benefit from it as well, to buy into it, to be a part of it, or is it all of the?
All of that, all of what you said, Mr. Michael. So that after starting the effect of COVID in Saudi Arabia, international flights not yet. So Saudi Arabia focused on the domestic market. It's a very important market. So we start having these book tours. We thought after COVID that business will have a long time to recover. No, we recovered so fast, so fast. I'm talking about my experience and my colleagues and the tour agencies. We were nonstop from the locals. That's very important. And we say it used, if I could say it, two birds.
Kill two birds with one stone.
With one stone.
Yeah.
Let the locals, the Saudis, see the beauty of Saudi Arabia, where they could, in the next phase, start to invest. Because some could be like investors, have an eye. I could go to this part of Saudi Arabia, which had the added value of, let's say, nature or mountains, and make this investment in this part of it. So that happened. Then, alhamdulillah, the recovery came. back and flights, and then now we're back in the business again after the COVID period. So yeah, that was the small past of what I encountered in my field in tourism.
That's so interesting. And I think that Big Bang concept that you said, that such a such an interesting situation right here in Saudi Arabia with that Big Bang, in the sense that, as you said, no tourist visas before a certain period of time. Suddenly, like that, now you've got this opportunity where, again, foreigners might be interested coming in and everything. To your point about as well the local buy-in, it's interesting. Just in the past week that my father and I had been traveling here, the excitement is clearly palpable, right? We've been hearing and speaking to people wanting to invest and open up maybe a new dive shop, maybe this, and maybe to your point, once the locals get involved and all that starts to happen, then the infrastructure gets into place, then the locals get to benefit a little bit more. And it's almost like there's a knock-on effect. It's very interesting,
Yeah.
very interesting dynamic.
Yeah, this is the market. This is how it goes.
Yeah.
And we're very happy of that, because whenever you invest in your country, in the locals, in the people, it's very important, because it comes to you directly and indirectly. My son, my family, my friends, my relatives, my other fellow mates in tourism, they could have profit of that directly or indirectly. No problem.
Yeah. Everybody benefits, right?
Yeah. As long, this is very important. Always my quote. I tell this to the tourists, to the locals, to anyone. As long as you're doing a good job.
Mm.
Tourism,
Quality over quantity, and we talked about that.
it's based on quality.
Yep.
Quality of services and everything.
And I think I can speak to, my father could speak to, the quality here just in the past week being here in Jeddah. It's phenomenal.
And better will come.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Can imagine. I can imagine.
Trust me.
Absolutely. Excellent. Next question. I think this is something interesting for a lot of people that maybe have heard something about this, but maybe don't really fully understand it. But what is Vision 2030? A lot of people are unfamiliar, but this is obviously a transformational initiative. Can you speak to that, how it intersects with tourism, and just broadly speaking, what is it?
Vision 2030 is announced by the Crown Prince. And we want to reach a goal by 2030. By the way, in some factors, some sectors, let's say, we already reached the target. We're still. So you could just imagine how the energy we have, I call it, in my words, I would say the treasures we have in Saudi. I'm not talking about wealth treasure. I'm talking the people are treasure. Investing in Saudi Arabia, it's another way of going next level and showing the strength of Saudi Arabia. So I could talk in numbers. I could talk on pillars that are standing on the vision, which is an ambitious nation, thriving economy, and vibrant society. These are the three. I'll this is the main issue. But let me say it in another words, so people could understand. Let's say on the economy scale. Saudi Arabia is basically depending on oil for its income, and depending on income for a country, that income goes up and down, up and down, up and down. So this year, yeah, mashallah, the oil prices is like $100 plus. So, oh yeah, let's do these projects. Then any crisis could happen to the world and it's down. No, let's stop. It doesn't work like that. So we have to look for other options. Let's open our eyes. What do we have here in Saudi Arabia? We have a lot.
A
We
lot.
have a lot. Yeah. And giving you statistics, like 75% of the population of Saudi Arabia is less than 30 years old. That's telling that I'm too old now. No, I'm not saying that, but
You look young, so most people.
I need nice people like you. So that tells you the power we have, the generation, and the need. This is very important, because people, what's going on here in Saudi Arabia? That majority have their needs. Okay, for us, like, or the 50 or 60 years old, they have their needs, but this is the majority. I have to focus on them also. So all the development, sports, culture, heritage, you name it here, we're having the, what do you call them, the natural resources, the phosphate we have in Saudi Arabia, the hydrogen, the wind now. Saudi Arabia, we're having the wind.
Bonding, all of it.
You name it.
Yeah.
What do we have? Yalla, let's bring. So talking in my sector, when it's before the tourism visa was launched, the GDP, the province of the GDP in from tourism was 0.13.
Zero.
0 point. It didn't reach.
Not 1 point.
No.
0.
No. I was there in a meeting when we were. And now we've at the last meeting with the Minister of Tourism, if I'm correct, he said it was 3 point something, 3.7, 3.6, around that.
30 times growth.
And we have a target.
What's the target?
It must be no less than 10%. Must be. It must be.
That's a 100 times.
That's telling you that we weren't looking at tourism as the way it should be.
Yeah.
In a way, things change, and Saudi Arabia changed in a social scale, an economic scale, but we really, I'm talking as a Saudi, amazed. I'm amazed as Khalid. I'm a local. I'm someone just giving my idea and seeing what's happening. We're amazed of the power that we have in every scale. It's just amazing. The people, the sources, you just name it. We're here, and that's why you're seeing these. What's going on? It's nonstop. It's like we call it like a non-stopping 24/7 machine in everywhere. Go to Riyadh, go to Jeddah, go to investment. Look at the world that's coming. Now we're localizing the companies here in Saudi Arabia. You want to work here in Saudi Arabia? Bring your company. And do you know what that does to Saudi Arabia economy and the people of Saudi Arabia, which there's like engineers, or let's say people that will be also enrolled in that way, in a direct way or indirect way? That very much helps the investors and also the locals. So I gave you the pillars of the vision. I gave you the GDP that we want to reach. We still have like 6.3%. We have to work on.
Always, even after all of this.
And I see it, Michael. I see it when I go, because I travel all around Saudi Arabia there with tourists. Anytime I come the second year, the second season, the season after, you see these new terminals opened in airports. I see more and more hotels, restaurants, coffee shops.
Every year, you're saying.
Every year, sometimes, is another Hyatt? We have a better one.
And you're a tour guide. You're going to these places all the time, and even you are struggling to keep up.
Even I.
Yeah.
To be followed. What's new? Salam, guys, in that destination. What's new here about?
That makes your job almost more difficult. How do you keep up with everything? And
it's our job.
Got to be exciting, though.
Of course.
And it's funny you say that, because we've had the same experience on this trip. So when my family first visited me when I was in Dubai, they flew through Jeddah Airport. So this was maybe 2017. I just moved out to Dubai, and the airport wasn't it wasn't
the 80s. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, so it was work in progress, I guess you could say. And then the new airport in Jeddah is phenomenal, right? Beautiful. And again, in a very short period of time, a couple of years. And we even met as well. We went diving again, some of the best diving in the world, right? Red Sea, incredible. So we did a little bit of that this week. And we met a number of Western couples who were all traveling here. And there was this word of mouth and advertising campaign that won them over. They said, oh, yeah, we're walking through Rome. We saw the Visit Saudi sign, and we said, why not? Cheap flights, opportunities. There's new airlines opening up in Saudi. Riyadh Air, obviously, being one of the newer ones. Some of the low-cost carriers. So it's a fascinating.
It's a workshop. Saudi Arabia now is a workshop.
It's a workshop.
Ahead is the the World Cup.
That's a huge one. That's
another thing that we have. I'm talking about in a governmental scale. Requests for Saudi Arabia companies that are, hey, we're ready. Yalla. Whenever you need us, we're here. So yeah, it tells us where things are going. Inshallah, more and more.
Inshallah. Yeah, it's incredible. It really is incredible. The next question I have around, again, around the changes and the development that Saudi's going through, would you say, again, given just the dramatic transformation that's really taking place, is there any parallel historically to the changes Saudi Arabia is going through? You're talking about record time changing in tourism and this and that. What would be your thoughts on that?
Um, what does parallel history mean? Hmm.
So in the sense of like, let's take this development from no tourist visas to now all the the growth in tourism, all of this. Has any country, before, maybe in history, changed as quickly, developed as rapidly? Anything that sort of, or is this really a one of one situation? What's happening in
Oh,
Saudi Arabia?
okay. We heard a couple of here and there that are you moving too fast? Is it too fast? And let me rephrase one fantastic historical word from Prince Mohammed bin Salman, the Crown Prince. He announced, he said, "We want to be normal again. If I have an opportunity to do it now, why shouldn't I go now? The- will I wait for people to say no because you're going too fast? Shall I wait? There's an opportunity right now. Take it or leave it. It's my way of seeing things. I said, no, no. There's an opportunity. Why should I stop now? Maybe I will not have the same conditions for that opportunity if I say, okay, let's just wait. People will think I'm going too fast. Yeah, you have it.
Mm. Yeah, it really is incredible. And again, having traveled quite a bit through work and everything else, you see other countries, you see the transformation. But again, I can say personally from my own experience, coming here from 2016 onwards, it's incredible. It really is incredible. I've never seen anything like it.
We're the fastest recovering country in tourism announced by the World UNWTO,
Wow.
WTO, UNWTO, United Nations World Tourism Organization.
Tells you everything you need to know.
You see, we have something. We are sitting and we're, locomotive.
Yeah. Just keep going, keep
I
going.
know what's wrong, and what I'm confident to say that I know that everything is you know, reconsidered. Is everything going on because the numbers we're seeing? Are we heading right? Are we losing something? What's there? So everything was reviewed, and I'm sure of that.
Yeah, that's incredible. So now to that point, again, we're sort of touching on it without necessarily, speaking about it outright. But from your vantage point, obviously you're local, you've been in this business a long time. But what makes Saudi Arabia particularly a unique and compelling tourist destination? I'm sure you got a great answer for us, but
Yeah, because Michael, I smiled because this is the question whenever I go to a market, trade market or exhibition. And why should I come to Saudi Arabia? Why? Tell me why to Saudi Arabia. So number one, because you have to tackle all the um, concerns of any tourist and of any person. Number one, how safe Saudi Arabia is, and you could see in the YouTube, and you could maybe you're personally if you have some history of or encountered some of these incidents. You could see in the YouTube that ladies take sometimes their mobile and westerns I'm talking about, and you see I'm walking 12 p.m. No, 12 a.m.
12 a.m.
at
midnight.
midnight.
Yeah.
And it's totally safe. I walk so much, and people here are. Let me add to that and a personal story. A tourist was with me in one of the markets here in Saudi Arabia, and we went to the gold market section. When we entered, I know where he came from. When we entered, he stopped. He said, Khaled, is, uh, is this real gold? Because there were lots of shops. I smiled. I know what he said, because they're open like that. In that country where he came from, and most countries, if you want to enter a jewelry store, there's a two armored door. So one opens, you go, and it closes. So it's. I told him, listen, are you amazed about that? Is sometimes they go out from the shop, which inside that shop could be 10 million Saudi riyal or more,
I was going to say, maybe it sounds like more.
more, and heading for a coffee, another store. I want to bring my tea or coffee, and maybe 3, 4, 5 minutes. I'm not in the shop. I'll come back. Told to be safe. That's number one. Number two, this is a non-stop love for me to show the world, the people, the real Saudi hospitality. This category, Michael, and from your podcast to the world. This category is it's a niche. It's something extraordinary here in Saudi Arabia, the Saudi hospitality. But they're like fairy tales. It's unbelievable. I was 2 weeks ago, 2 weeks. I'm talking about something happened with me with the tourist in Al Ula. We have what they say in Arabic, madafa. Madafa means guest house. Okay, what's a guest house? People building uh, in front of their house, in their houses, 2, 3, 4 rooms, one large saloon. We call them saloon, majlis,
Yeah.
in Arabic saloon, open 24/7. Again, open 24/7. Anyone,
Anybody
any
off the street doesn't.
any human soul
Wow.
that passing by, please enter my guest house.
It's made for
Guest-
you. It's there.
Please spend the night. Whenever you enter, is it day or night? There's someone just sitting there who could. Sometimes he could be a sheikh. Sheikh is the chief of the tribe. Most of them are locals. You just have to come and see. Coffee. We went in Al Ula 2 weeks ago with my friend Abby. We arrived at 10 p.m. I was talking about that on our way back to the resort. He said, "Come on, Khaled." I said, "I swear, this is true." Yeah. I said, "It was open. The lights were on. 10 p.m." He said, I told him, "Listen, they will not let us go. We have a program tomorrow. Yani, don't let it too much." Yani. He said, "No, please, I just want to see." We enter. We were greeted by dates, coffee, tea. You know the oud bukhur?
Yes.
The incense?
Yeah, the
incense, a very expensive kind of welcoming. No, please, we just give us 10 minutes and I'll bring dinner. I said, Wallahi, we had them. No, no, really? Okay, please spend the night here. It's unbelievable. Free. No, it's not free. You're doing them a favor. Wow. If you stay at their house. Where do you find this?
It's a great question. Where do you find it? I have no idea. I have no
They
clue.
love it. This is something we want to tell the world about Saudis. And of course, whenever you encounter more and more Saudis, sometimes if you and anyone with you would come in the market and meet people, sometimes because we're officially, when I say officially, I mean as tourist guys, we put our badge with us. It has to be done like that. But if you're wandering alone or saying, Salam alaikum, how are you? Where are you from? What's your name? They will offer you coffee, tea, and anywhere that they could. And if you're in a supermarket or close to a restaurant, okay, please let us, the bill.
Yeah.
It's on me.
Yeah.
So this is something, this is not talk. They can't pretend. This is something here.
We said that for them. It's in the blood.
Then we say that, yeah.
Yeah.
So these things make a taif. Did I say taif?
Yeah, you said.
Yeah, it's I can one because of time. These values, I call them, they make Saudi Arabia so special, so unique. And add to that the destinations. Now, I don't know if you have the time for it.
We have as much time as needed. So
So then what's also unique about Saudi Arabia is the diversity. Diversity, Michael, is a word of success in tourism. Because even in a tour, even if I have a one-day tour with you, whenever the tour could have diversity, show you culture, history, nature, adventure, you know what I mean? These things, whenever I cover all of that diversity, that's for as in tour guiding manners is a very good tour. So the diversity. Let me talk about the nations. Yeah. So mountains. We have unique mountains stretching from north of Saudi Arabia, where Neom is, where Trujina,
near the border with Jordan.
that was correct, which we will have the Olympic sports 2029, Trujina, skiing in Saudi Arabia.
Nobody would think this. This is people think, oh, Saudi Arabia, one big desert. You're talking about more than just camels and
there's a lot. And stretching until we reach the Yemeni border. Those are chain of mountains which are covered in the southern part of Saudi Arabia with wild juniper trees, greenery. If I show you some photos of places we go there.
We'll show the audience, man.
Is this Saudi Arabia? No, this is mountain dew, fog, rain. This is Saudi Arabia? No, yes, it's in Saudi Arabia. I'm talking these mountains. Then the sea activities, which by the way, the diving here, of course, you know that the Red Sea, the reputation of the Red Sea, the best place for diving, especially when you go up north, because the colors of the coral reef is unique. So diving activities are in Saudi Arabia. Do you love deserts? Of course, the people that are the Westerns or people that live in Europe and ever they love the desert because it's not there in their country. So we do tours to the empty quarter. That's the largest. If we call it the empty quarter desert. Quarter of Saudi Arabia is a desert, the southern part. We drive 500 kilometers to pure tranquility, no signal, no mobile signal. Of course, we have the satellite for just emergencies, but just imagine you're in the middle of the desert where you could find a dry lake, and then you could encounter these foxes and then sleep under the stars and wake up. That tranquility. It's unbelievable. So that's the desert part. Add to that the diversity of history, civilizations that lived here, related like more than 5,000 BC. Civilizations around Saudi Arabia. Needless to say, Al-Ula, the civilizations of the Dadanis, Lahyani, and the Nabatean, which stretched till Petra north. So that's talking about civilizations and about who's fascinated about the facades of the architect, all of that in Saudi Arabia. The culture from Asir region, the mountain area, how they decorate their houses, how they build from a mixture of adobe and stones on an umbrella shape. That's something that you can add to that the diversity of cuisine from one part to another. The desert will have that typical kind of dishes. The mountain of Asir or Al-Taif or Mecca or Najd. The diversity, some places in Saudi Arabia, Michael, have a diversity in one city. In one city, we'd have different accents. Different accents. I no, he's from that tribe. I know from his accents, he's definitely. You're from that
With the same city.
one city,
Yeah.
in one city, or a desert and a mountain covered by juniper trees, and a desert where camel races are held. That's unique. Where can you find that? So, in my point of view, I think 1 month if you want to experience Saudi Arabia. I think if you're lucky, you could cover 70. I don't think
In a
month. I don't think you could do that even because I want you to spend as in the most uh, of the time, or let's say the must be seen at this area and that area. But at the end, we always go with the flow and the interest of tourists.
I think that's so interesting. And what you just hit the nail on the head of is, I think, again, what people maybe don't fully understand about Saudi Arabia, right? You said the safety element. And I want to come back to that description that you gave of the girl walking around midnight, not a concern in the world. And I've had this experience for the last 8 years living here in the Middle East, that it genuinely is probably the safest place, safest region I've ever been to. And again, going to Asia, going to Latin America, going to Europe, Africa, North America, I've never seen anything like it, where again, women will walk around completely safe, no issue. People walking around 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, it's fine. It's no issue. That's incredible. The hospitality, obviously, I think, as you said, we've experienced, my father and I traveling for the last week, me being here for so many times. You just don't really get that anywhere else. And then obviously the destinations is, people don't realize it. I still am learning about new destinations. I'm hearing about Abha and Jizan, for example. I didn't even know about these places in the southwest of Saudi Arabia. I learned about that this week. I can't wait now to take a trip, go see some of these places.
Yeah,
It's incredible. It's incredible.
the cuisine, the people, the folkloric dresses from which one part to another. Why they wear this? It's related to the nature because this represents that thing or that. So you love it.
And I was going to say, I've had some, we've had a few Uber drivers telling us, you must go here, you must go here. Some friends saying the same thing. I was learning about these purple trees in Abha, for example. There's that period. Yeah. And that looks phenomenal. So now I need to plan a trip to see that.
You have a friend there, huh?
Yeah, many friends. So we'll go together, maybe me and some friends. If you can give us a tour as well, that'd be amazing. And
Delighted.
that would be awesome.
More than delighted.
Excellent. No, it really is incredible. So I think you kind of touched on it, but are there any, we kind of already addressed it, but are there, top places you would recommend? Like, let's say a tourist is coming here for a week, 2 weeks. What are some of the top places you might recommend them to go in Saudi? Again, we're saying maybe a month isn't even enough, but what would make those destinations unique?
This is one of the hardest questions I'm always asked. So it's, for me, I would say, first of all, the tourists would always go for what they would prefer. So it's what I mean for that is what are the interests of the client? Again, their clients and their tourists, they want to visit depending on their some would just discover Saudi. That's good. Other would come just for the desert life. Other would go for the scripts, the ancient drawings and script history I'm talking about. So it's a mix of this and that. But we always go for the World Heritage sites. Some people would go just for the UNESCO. Where are applying this? Where are applying that? So we have World Heritage sites here in Saudi Arabia. There are now eight World Heritage sites. So if you said Khaliyallah, number them. I always would say Al Ula will fascinate you. So Al Ula is ranked always like on the top three, let's say. Dir'iyah is a World Heritage Site where the first Saudi state was established in close to Riyadh. Then there's the historical Jeddah.
Beautiful. We were there multiple times this week.
The vibes there, the vibes. Did you feel the vibes?
Of course. The architecture as well, very unique. I mean, walking through, we kept taking pictures. It's like, man, I've never seen architecture like this. It's awesome. It's a very cool environment.
Each house has its own pattern of design, colors, decoration of wall.
Blue, brown, this, that.
Yeah. Then you have in the Oasis, the largest oasis also as a World Heritage Site, which is in Al Ahsa. It's in the eastern province where you could find a lake in the desert. Do you know that Saudi?
In the middle of the desert.
In the middle of the desert. I'll show you photos of it.
We were there. We'll show it to the audience as well.
2 weeks ago, we were there. You want to rent a boat, or you just want to sand drifting around?
To rent a boat on that lake?
Yeah.
How big are we talking about?
Well, it depends on the season, but it's quite big. I'll show you the picture. It's in the eastern province of Saudi Arabia. Lake Al Asfar, the yellow
lake.
Yeah. Then you could see the ancient scripts and drawings of Jubba and Shuemus, which is in Hayil. So these, you see, you're tackling this and this and this and that from all around Saudi Arabia. So these are the high demand, I would say, depending on the requests we have as tourist guides. And for the most, let's say, demand destinations in Saudi Arabia, Al-Ula must be there always. Always.
And what's amazing to me also, so again, you're talking about the diversity, the history and all that. And you didn't even mention Riyadh, for example, which is, I mean, I've been there many times, right? Riyadh's becoming a really great place to travel and visit. Really fun, a lot of things to do, amazing cafes, amazing this, amazing that. You didn't even mention the Red Sea, for example, which just shows how much Saudi Arabia has, right? We went diving and the diving was incredible.
The Red Sea project, we have this luxury brand, which is the Red Sea Global. The piece kind of like, high-end type of resorts in the Red Sea, which there's it's called the Rock Resort. The Rock Resort. It's like on a desert resort beside the Red Sea. So that itself is destinations for the tranquility, for the luxury type of destinations people would love. Also, we have the cruise now. We're having them. They're in Jeddah now and taking the people, or whoever wants to go from Jeddah to there's a private island.
I heard about this.
Yeah. So yeah, you name it. You name it here. You have it.
People don't realize literally everything, right? I mean, it's the whole gamut of, it's incredible.
And I didn't mention Neom yet.
Yeah, I was going to say there's a bunch of these huge things that how long is the list, you know?
Tomorrow I'm heading to Neo, where we have a group heading there. So there's a destination full of culture, history, nature. Well, you can't imagine.
And what is in Neom for maybe people who wouldn't know?
Neom now is a name for the future in Saudi Arabia. By the way, Neom is abstracted from Neo, Neom, new, and M is quite close to Mustaqbal in Arabic because Mustaqbal is future. No, that's the future of uh, we have the line, we have Sindala now, resort going on. We have resorts that are still being developed. Neom is a project for the future. It's a massive area, but I'm talking before Neom came. We used to go to Tabuk. It's in Tabuk region, where lots of the the history of the camel caravan trading routes coming trans-Arabia from north to south to that area, which is full of history. Add to that the future you're seeing. So yeah,
And Neom particularly, so based on my understanding, it's the size of Belgium, if I understand.
very large. It's very large.
That's unbelievable. A country size of development of this, of tourist.
And it's like a flat area. Some places, of course, there were some parts or mountain area, but you could start from scratch. It's
Untouched.
untouched. There's sanctuaries, we call them, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, for gazelles and for the ibex and for the oryxes.
Wow.
Yeah, we're heading also there.
That's incredible. It's incredible. I was going to say now I'm leaving tomorrow. You're making me want to come back and see some of this stuff. That's incredible. Excellent. So now moving slightly different direction. What are 3 things that a tourist should know before visiting, generally speaking?
For us, we welcome the world. First of all, take any fears, misunderstanding. Of course, the media, you know what things are said about Saudi Arabia here and there. There's a lot of misunderstanding, but really, when you come here for the first time, you'll be amazed of how safe, how wonderful, how friendly Saudis and Saudi culture is, how rich it is, and the experience you will take back, which gives you, you know, will build a very good reputation back to Saudi Arabia. Then there's always, the list of uh, the code, dressing code, respecting the customs anywhere you go, respect. We saw photos of the late Queen Elizabeth when she entered the mosque of Sheikh Zayed. She wore something on her. It's a symbol of respect. It's all about that. And there's a code of dress code. You'll find it in the website, or you could find it even in the tourist visa. When you click on that, you'll find the dress code. Just a modest code. You don't have to. Very normal for you, and feel free. And I would advise something more to that as a tourist guide point of view. Try to interact with locals more and more. I love taking tourists to the old shops, the authentic, the traditional shops, not the shopping malls without respect, not the ready-made coffee. No, I go to the locals shop. First of all, we support the locals as long again as they're doing good, and that gives you the real touch, the real thing. These are the most important things I would ask and tell the tourists before coming to Saudi Arabia. Focus on them, but feel safe of Saudi Arabia.
And I think just to add to those points, my father and I have been talking about that all week, and this was his first time in Saudi Arabia. And exactly as you said, in terms of the initial impression, wow, every single one of these misconceptions that I think a lot of people in the West have, that the media has sort of played up in all these things, the safety, the hospitality, the welcomingness. Everywhere we go, people are very excited to help you and anything. I mean, it really is true.
From the landing, yeah? From the
landing.
From there.
Actually, you know what? Khalid, it starts even at the airport. I took Saudi Airlines. So even on the flight, you're already getting that experience. So alhamdulillah.
It's a brand, wallahi. Mike, it's a brand.
It's true. It's a powerful brand because it's true. It's backed up by something. And then you mentioned as well the what was that second point that you were talking about? So we talked about the I wanted to add a point on what you were just mentioning. Now I lost my train of thought. We'll edit this out.
Okay, let me talk about things I would also like to add.
The dress code. I want to add something.
Yeah, dress code.
So yeah, Khalid, then one question on the dress code, just to clarify, I think, because maybe people might have misconceptions. Obviously, modesty is something that you would expect really anywhere. So that's very normal, I think, as you said. The headscarf, is that mandatory in Saudi Arabia?
No, for ladies, locals. Some locals are not with it, but that was in the past where even the first visa was not allowed. But now everyone has his rights. You're a tourist. You're very much welcome. We would much appreciate if you're entering a mosque in the old historical Jeddah. When you enter, as a symbol of respect, again, just wear something on you. Other than that, you're okay.
As you would expect at a church or any of these other places in
Anywhere other areas, symbol of respect. You're respecting my custom, and by the way, customs are very important. It's who you are, who you were raised, who gave you your personality, your country, its identity. It's people would say, yani, when are these regulations? I'm talking about the new generations. They are our identity. You see how I come to you? I can easily come with you with jeans or without, or take my, but I like wearing this with tourists, with guests, with like your audience, to show it this is the Saudi, this is how we work, and it's a symbol of me respecting you. By the way,
absolutely
this is how my
being true to yourself.
Yeah. Again, we want to show the world. Ahlan bil alam.
Yeah.
Welcome to Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, no, it's incredible. And again, those misconceptions, I think people had these notions that are tremendously outdated and tremendously incorrect. And it's important, very important, I think, to dispel those and make people realize, not the case. Yeah, absolutely.
Just come and you'll see.
And I was going to say, my father could speak to that. Me coming here every single time could speak to that. So true. So true. Alhamdulillah. So finally, well, not finally, we have a few more questions, but again, changing gears slightly. So when we talk about major tourist destinations, places like New York City, places like London, Paris, it's common that we see that they struggle with things like crime and all of these type of, negative sort of situations that do impact tourism and tourists as well. So my question is, what makes Saudi Arabia different in this regard? And then with this rise in tourism, how can Saudi Arabia avoid some of these pitfalls and things like that?
Again, Michael, Saudi Arabia is a very, very safe country. So regarding what could people, or comparing to other countries that could have, these issues, you just come in Saudi Arabia, and regarding, you're talking about how safe it is, or being robbed, or you could wear whatever you want. I'm talking about jewelry, and you could walk with it. You put your original pen or watch. No problem about that. And yeah, people, it's the law, it's the religion that stops us, the religion, the how we are raised, how, come on, Annie. You know what I mean? It's something here. It's sometimes, some places around the world, when electricity went down, no cameras went, things were being, stolen from here and there.
Yeah,
It's chaos here. We don't need cameras. We don't need anything to make us behave. It's us. It's how we're. Even if we have someone is poor, need money. It doesn't. No, this is his. This is yours. This is not mine.
There.
No.
Yeah, that's incredible. That's incredible. Excellent. So again, going back to the development, obviously we're seeing some of these huge development projects, initiatives, things like the UFC coming to Riyadh, coming to Saudi Arabia, Formula One. Something I learned about actually just this week, that Donald Trump has 2 planned towers, one in Riyadh, one in Jeddah. Cristiano Ronaldo, Benzema, a bunch of these big, global soccer football players coming to play in the Saudi League. Concerts, Eminem was here, I think, a few weeks ago. I saw that. And obviously winning host of the World Cup for 2034. So my question is, can we expect anything else? I mean, what's next for Saudi Arabia? How are they going to surprise us next? What's the future looking like?
Okay. Yeah, we do have something.
Even more.
The Crown Prince was asked in one of his interviews. We love this. We love it.
Yeah.
So in the interview, I said, "Your Crown Prince, Your Royal Highness, what's after 2030?" He smiled and said, 2040. So that's another sign that things are inshallah. Um, I'll send you a file which is 2030. It's even on a website, Vision 2030, in English and lots of languages, where we are, were, and where we should be statistically. That's fact. But have you ever heard about the RIG? RIG?
The rig?
Yeah.
I know about oil rigs. I don't know.
Okay. You're getting close.
I'm getting closer. Okay.
Yeah. In the Eastern Province, there is this project. It's full of adventure and entertainment, not yet open. It's on the next level. And it's an oil platform where it will be. You can look it up. People just
Okay. Whoa. So explain this. This is sounding very interesting.
yeah. The PIF
Okay. Public investment.
investment fund is investing in the rig, so there will be like can I say amusement park or an adventure in a rig. That's already from Aramco. For excavations, and they're as far as I know. So
When is this going to be ready? Because you sold me already. That sounds awesome.
2 tickets now, huh?
Okay, please get a third for my dad. I think
I will
for my friends.
No, it's there,
And what's it going to be? It's an amusement park. It's going to be concerts. It's going to be, or is it everything?
totally as an adventure
Wow, on an oil rig.
on an oil sea activities, of course, for that.
Incredible.
So just wait for that. It's not focused on it yet, huh?
Yeah.
That's
It's not 2030. This is after.
It could be. I don't have the official time of opening, but it's there. It's announced already.
Wow.
It's owned to the PIF.
This is news to me. I had no idea.
No, listen, Michael. Uh, I'm talking about what Khalid knows. I'm not that person. I'm that not large scale person, but there's things that I know, even in where the destinations I go. I can't say more details. I can like what I see in Al Ula, but what we see in Al Ula right now is like 5%.
Wow.
5% of what is seen and what people visit right now is the vision for Al Ula. 5%. So you could just imagine. I saw places that are not. Let me try to rephrase that. I saw places in Al Ula. They will be another big bang for visitors to Al Ula. Trust me on that. We were there. Wow. So another strategy of telling that we still have things to show the world. It's like a strategic way of marketing. Even we call it. This is again my point of view. Don't throw all the papers together.
Don't put some cards up your sleeve type of.
I want you to come again. By the way.
Oh, that's already going to happen. But now.
That's why I want you to. Why? Well, but now you visited that part. No, let me show you something new.
Yeah. Let me take you to a rig and go to an amusement park. Wow. So the answer is Saudi will keep surprising us, and there's going to be
definitely. And our backbone strength. Take it from me.
Yeah.
Is the Saudis, is the people. And it's our source of power after بعد Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and it's the best thing you could depend on. بعد Allah, the Saudis.
The human capital that you
you have it. You have that. They're passionate. They love what they're doing. They love their country. Oh, Allah.
I even went to that point. I went to a store today to pick up some of the equipment again for our interview today, and again, passion, energy everywhere from everybody, excited to speak about, oh, you're a foreigner. What are you doing here? Where are you from? That's amazing. Blah, blah. I'm from here in Saudi. The energy is
open to the world.
Open to the world. Excitement, energy. It's incredible.
Well,
it's incredible. Excellent. We touched on this, I think, a number of times, but if you were to distill it down, maybe into very couple of ideas, what are the biggest misconceptions about Saudi Arabia from your perspective when it pertains to tourism, and then just broadly speaking?
Again, it's the same issue. You're funded by media or affected by media or driven by what the media, and the media has its. We don't want to talk about the media and what they're doing, but how the image of Saudi Arabia. what we have is the opposite of what the bad image which is sent from the media about Saudi Arabia. People don't look on the images from the media reports. Ask the people who visit. Ask people like you, Michael. I can't pretend what when I love Saudi Arabia. You can't. You're the credibility from you when you visit the shops, the locals, the places, from the diversity of things you do in Saudi Arabia. You have the credibility. You could say that. I say that as a professional field of mine when I see the people who lived here in Saudi Arabia, the expats, the visitors, my 15 years experience as encountering being with tourists for a long period of time or a short period of time together, they love this place. You know, in their status of and on social media, or they have pictures of Saudi Arabia. Even they finished their contract here, but they still have the on their the social media. You name the place, they still have them photos and Saudi Arabia as a background for them. That's something telling people that this place gave me good memories. I had good memories from this place. This is how we are and where we want to be. And again, we're happy to show the world how wonderful, how safe, and the hospitality of Saudis. This is something again and again we tackle and don't stop. And people like you and me have a role on that.
And I can only reiterate everything you said. And again, you said, for me to say it in an unbiased way, I completely agree with everything you said. It really is incredible.
There. We can't pretend it.
Exactly. You can't
take it.
Exactly.
No,
Exactly.
it's there. These things cannot be feigned or pretended or acting. No, it's there. Either you have it or you don't.
Yeah. Very true. Very true. Yeah. No, absolutely. Finally, last question. So let's say people watch this interview and they, hear about Saudi Arabia. They're, excited about, all of these projects, the cities, the diversity, the safety, the hospitality, all the things we talked about. How do people get more information about, okay, maybe I want to plan a trip, maybe I want to come to the kingdom, or how would they contact you, for example, if they wanted to, Khalid, we want to book the tour with you, we want to, to meet you, have you show us around, what does that all look like?
That's the most important thing of Saudi Arabia. Book Khalid.
Yes, exactly. I mean, I would agree with that. Book Khalid, khalas, done.
I'm honored to represent my country in any scale. No, for Saudi Arabia, any visitors who want information about Saudi Arabia, there's first of all, I'm here in social media. I have my WhatsApp, I have my Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. I'm very active on those, and I'll be more than glad to distribute them. And also you could look it up in the Visit Saudi. There's a website called Visit Saudi, which gives you general information about Saudi Arabia destinations. But if I could advise, always go through as a first scale. Yani, like ask the tour agency, tour operators, tourist guide who are Saudis, without respect. Ask them before you book. Because, okay, let's say, Michael Khalid, I'm interested in visiting the lake. You said, I heard about the lake in Saudi Arabia. I'll give you more information, because don't come during August. We always choose, this is very important. This is why I told you, go with the experts. We choose the best time for the best destination. The destination is very important, and when and where to visit. So whenever someone contacts me, what are you really interested in? We ask to each other. So when let's say if he has a mix of culture and nature and adventure, is he is it a family? Do they have children? Is it a senior? Is it more than 60 years old? These could make a funnel to show. No, I would recommend this time. Please, are you flexible on dates? Because that, like this year, if you say, Khalid, I want to book a tour with you in March, you know what I will say?
Fully booked.
March will be in Ramadan.
There you go.
You see?
Exactly. Yeah.
Who knows that? So anyone who would visit, go for more details, and I'll be more than delighted. For me, it's not just it's not about money. It's about telling the people, anyone who hears us, or I would recommend this, or that. So like Ramadan, the Ramadan life here in Arabia, and most of the shops close during the day. No, I would rather to keep Ramadan, in my point of view, as Khal, for you to give you the full experience, not Ramadan. Come in April if you're flexible.
And then obviously summertime can be very hot, right? Can be very,
Doesn't ma-
depending on where you are.
No, Mike, if you come to during summer, if you book me in August, you said, Khalid, I want to visit Saudi Arabia for like this couple, I would take you to places, and I would recommend, please bring your jacket with you.
Wow.
Whenever you realize,
Mountains.
yeah, it is, of course, the mountain area of Saudi Arabia.
Wow.
18 degrees during August. Bring your jacket with you. Don't forget that.
So there's a place in Saudi Arabia for any time of year.
Places, Mike.
Places.
Sorry, Mike. Yeah, we have destinations during the summer.
Wow.
And the Minister of Tourism makes these announcements, these
Trailblazers.
layers of the summer destinations, winter destinations. Yeah, well, we have there.
So this summer, I'm coming to Abha. I'd hope to get a tour with you with a jacket.
Yeah.
That's what I learned. That's one of the things I learned from this conversation. Excellent. Well, Khalid, thank you. Any final comments, anything to lead the audience?
Well,
otherwise, I think we're good.
Tourism. I love tourism. I love what I'm doing. Tourism brings bonds. I know people that came to me in a tour. So a group came during that first tour together with us. They became, after that, the travel mates. Could we say travel mates?
Yeah.
A couple from Denmark with a lady from America with a man from South Africa. They're travel mates. Whenever there's a tour I have, Khalid, what's on November list? Wallah, we could go visit like Neo. Okay, let us call the couple from Denmark. Let's go that together. They're travel mates. We've been together for more than 4 or 5 destinations together.
Same group.
Wow. They don't know. They met each other in one of my tours.
Wow.
So I consider them friends. They're not tourists. I go with friends. I enjoy. What I'm doing is full of love and passion, and I can't help it. I love what I'm doing. Alhamdulillah.
That's amazing. Finally, shukran li waqtik. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. Fantastic talking to you. And hopefully we'll speak in the future. Maybe get you on another episode, and definitely do a tour in the future.
More than delighted. And as always, I say, you always have a friend here in Saudi.
Appreciate that, Khalid.
Shukran.
Thank you so much. Afwan. Shukran. Shukran.